What does a flashing amber beacon mean when it's on a moving vehicle? The vehicle is slow moving. You are coming up to a roundabout. A cyclist is signaling to turn right. What should you do? Give the cyclist plenty of room. You are dazzled at night by a vehicle behind you. What should you do? Set your mirror to the anti-dazzle position. Why should you look particularly for motorcyclists and cyclists at junctions? They are harder to see. You are waiting to come out of a side road. Why should you look carefully for motorcycles? Motorcycles can easily be hidden behind obstructions. What should you do when you are following a learner driver who stalls at a junction? Be patient as you expect them to make mistakes. A horse rider is in the left-hand lane approaching a roundabout. Where should you expect the rider to go? In any direction. You want to turn right from a junction, but your view is restricted by parked vehicles. What should you do? Stop, then move forward slowly until you have a clear view. You are approaching a roundabout. There are horses just ahead of you. What should you do? Give them plenty of room. Who may use toucan crossings? Cyclists and pedestrians. You want to turn right from a main road into a side road. What should you do just before turning? Check for traffic overtaking on your right. You are driving past parked cars. You notice a bicycle wheel sticking out between them. What should you do? Slow down and be prepared to stop for a cyclist. You see a pedestrian carrying a white stick with a red band. What does this tell you? They are deaf and blind. Where should you never overtake a cyclist? Just before you turn left. How should you overtake horse riders? Drive slowly and leave plenty of room. What should you do when you are following a motorcyclist along a road that has a poor surface? Allow extra room in case they swerve to avoid potholes. You are unsure what a slow-moving motorcyclist ahead of you is going to do. What should you do? Stay behind. You are driving in a slow-moving queue of traffic. Just before changing lane, what should you do? Look for motorcyclists filtering through the traffic. Why will a motorcyclist look round over their right shoulder just before turning right? To check for traffic in their blind area. You are turning left into a side road. What hazards should you be especially aware of? Pedestrians. There are flashing amber lights under a school warning sign. What action should you take? Reduce speed until you are clear of the area. You want to reverse into a side road, but you aren't sure that the area behind your car is clear. What should you do? Get out and check. When you are overtaking a cyclist, you should leave as much room as you would give to a car. What's the main reason for this? The cyclist might swerve. As you approach a pelican crossing, the lights change to green. What should you do if elderly people are halfway across? Wait patiently because they will probably take longer to cross. What should you do when passing a sheep on a road? Go very slowly. You are on a country road. What should you expect to see coming towards you on your side of the road? Pedestrians. You have stopped at a pelican crossing. A disabled person is crossing slowly in front of you when the lights change to green. What should you do? Wait for them to finish crossing. What must a driver do at a pelican crossing when the amber light is flashing? Give way to any pedestrians on the crossing. Where should you take particular care to look for motorcyclists and cyclists? At junctions. Why is a toucan crossing different from other crossings? Cyclists can use it. At night, you see a pedestrian wearing reflective clothing and carrying a bright red light. What does this mean? You are approaching an organized walk. The left-hand pavement is closed due to street repairs. What should you do? Watch out for pedestrians walking in the road. You are following two cyclists. They approach a roundabout in the left-hand lane. In which direction should you expect the cyclist to go? Any direction. You see a horse rider as you approach a roundabout. What should you do if they are signaling right but keeping well to the left? Stay well back. You are driving past a line of parked cars. You notice a ball bouncing out into the road ahead. What should you do? Slow down and be prepared to stop for children. You are traveling behind a moped. What should you do when you want to turn left just ahead? Stay behind until the moped has passed the junction. Why should you allow extra room when overtaking a motorcyclist on a windy day? The rider may be blown across in front of you. You are driving in town. There's a bus at the bus stop on the other side of the road. Why should you be careful? Pedestrians might come from behind the bus. You are driving towards a zebra crossing. A person in wheelchair is waiting to cross. What should you do? Be prepared to stop. Powered vehicles used by disabled people are small and hard to see. How do they give early warning when on a dual carriageway? They will have a flashing amber light. You are at the front of a queue of traffic waiting to turn right into a side road. Why is it important to check your right mirror just before turning? To check for overtaking vehicles. You are about to reverse into a side road. A pedestrian is waiting to cross behind you. What should you do? Give way to the pedestrian. Some junctions controlled by traffic lights have a marked area between two stop lines. What is this for? To allow cyclists to position in front of other traffic. You have just passed your test. How can you reduce your risk of being involved in a collision? By taking further training. You see a pedestrian with a dog wearing a yellow or burgundy coat. What does this indicate? The pedestrian is deaf. What should you do when you see two elderly pedestrians about to cross the road ahead? Be careful, they may misjudge the speed. What should you do when following a car driven by an elderly driver? Be aware that their reactions may be slower than yours. In daylight, an approaching motorcyclist is using dipped headlights. Why? So that the rider can be seen more easily. How would you react to drivers who appear to be inexperienced? Be patient and prepare for them to react more slowly. Why should motorcyclists wear bright clothing? Drivers often do not see them. Which is the most vulnerable road user at junctions? Motorcyclist. Which of these should you allow extra room when overtaking? Bicycle. You intend to turn right into a side road. Why should you check motorcyclists just before turning? They may be overtaking on your right. Who is especially in danger of not being seen as you reverse your car? Children. You are following a cyclist. What should you do when you wish to turn left just ahead? Hold back until the cyclist has passed the junction. You notice horse riders in front. What should you do first? Slow down and be ready to stop. How will a school crossing patrol signal you to stop? By displaying a stop sign. Where would you see this sign? On the rear of a school bus or coach. What does this sign mean? A route for pedestrians and cyclists. What does this tell you? Cycle route ahead. What does this sign mean? With flow cycle lane. What's the purpose of these road markings? To ensure children have a clear view from the crossing area. The road outside this school is marked with yellow zigzag lines. What do these lines mean? You mustn't wait or park your vehicle here at all. Where would you see this sign? On a school bus. What action would you take when elderly people are crossing the road? Be patient and allow them to cross in their own time. You are approaching this roundabout and see the cyclist signal right. Why is the cyclist keeping to the left? The cyclist is slower and more vulnerable. Why must these road markings be kept clear? To allow a clear view of the crossing area. You are turning left at a junction where pedestrians have started to cross. What should you do? Give way to them. What should you do when approaching this crossing? Prepare to slow down and stop. Which sign means that people walking towards you? Which sign means that